Unmuting.
I gotta talk.
People kept stepping on my robe last night, and so they were talking about disrobing me. It was fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, back with For Fuck's Sakes with Dr. Carey, man. Oh my God. Well, today we're talking women in medicine. And yesterday we had the women's retreat, and I'm gonna tell you what, it
was a treat.
It was
a treat.
I don't know where to start.
From the beginning to the venue, to the food, to the people, to the talks, to the everything. I mean, it was a good time.
I was wondering how you guys are going to react to that, being in a house full of women.
We fell back and we kind of hid in the darkness a little bit. We had a nice little section upstairs that was kind of left alone, wasn't around the vendors or anything. So when we needed to pop out, we popped out. When we wanted to kind of fall back, we fall back, and it was a cool experience. Definitely.
I mean, listen, I left out of there changed yesterday.
Honestly, I went in there as a student for my wife. Like I was like picking up stuff like, okay, she says that, let me listen so that I could bring this back to her. Like I tried to take advantage for my wife the best that I possibly could.
It was life changing. I can't lie. Like, first of all, men, pay attention. That's number one.
Yes.
Pay attention. Pay attention. That's number one. Number two, these women out here are for real. That's number two. Okay? What they put together yesterday had a little Tony Stark / Justice League that you don't fucking know about. Like, when I tell you what we experienced yesterday was so different. Listen, I'm telling you, men, we got to step our games up.
You don't think men are having these kind of conferences or retreats with each other?
No.
It looks different, but I wouldn't say it's definitely not labeled a man's retreat to go get wellness. And usually we just slap dick something together, cornhole tournament or some shit like that, right? But it works. Well,
you
both.
Should probably enunciate that word.
I said slap dick.
Oh,
I
okay.
said,
All right.
I said slap dick.
It's like,
It was
wait,
slap
what?
dick.
Yeah.
100% slap.
Yeah, and it's all superficial, surface level slap dicking. It's not that deep.
I'm glad that that's happening though. That gives me a little tingle.
Well, here's the thing. This thing was run with a precision of a Ferrari, okay? I mean, it went from start, like this woman ran this thing, Hindi.
Yeah.
Shout out to freaking Hindi, bro.
Yeah. Hindi is
You're talking about a warrior.
Founder of Empowered Ventures, and that is all about bringing female entrepreneurs together and supporting each other, collaborating, bringing each other up.
We're not going to show too much of the retreat because that'll be for time to come. But in terms of Tony Stark and what had going on, we had Dr. Carey going down a 3-story slide.
This house.
That's me going down the rabbit hole.
Yes. And all you heard her say,
and let me tell you, there's like a little tiny landing before you actually shoot out the bottom, and I could tell there was a bunch of women at the bottom of this thing, and my dress was in my armpits, and so I had to force my knees against the side of this thing to stop so that I could put my dress down so that I did not fly out in like full regalia. It was hilarious. I was like, oh God. They're like, why aren't you coming? I was like, I had to stop because y'all would have gotten way too much. That is not what the retreat is about.
First of all, this house was insane.
Right? The Red Dog Ranch. It is an amazing venue.
If you've never seen this place.
I've been here my entire life. I had no idea it existed.
Probably the nicest home I've seen in this city since I've been here.
And like crazy fun stuff too. Like it wasn't just fancy. There was like super old school exposed wood and like wooden columns and things like that.
It was a castle cabin ranch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There was like modern stuff, like the kitchen with the bathroom tile all over, and
what about the basement? What about the basement of like a wine cellar /
yeah,
I don't know what the fuck that was.
They could have locked me down there for a while. And then an elevator, I had to use the elevator to bring a bunch of equipment up. and it was smooth, the elevator. So you could take the slide down and the elevator up and down. Like, what is happening?
I'm a little claustrophobic. I couldn't get that elevator.
It was like a 3-person elevator.
Was it?
It wasn't
I
bad.
didn't get in.
Yeah, it was not bad at all. And then did you look in the Hobbit hole out front?
I wanted to open that door, but I didn't.
Oh,
I wanted to
you
look
went
in
in?
there.
we dare to. And I was like, for sure, not 90% sure it's going to be a wine cellar. That's what I was thinking. It was going to be a wine cellar out there, right?
Okay.
It was a reading nook. Like, there were these 2 super cute little, like, overstuffed chairs in there with a little table.
Honestly, what a perfect little thing to make that.
Oh my
That's
God,
cool.
it was adorable. Adorable.
That's
And there were
cool.
little reading, on the very top, there was a gargoyle reading a book. I was like, yes, I need to just rent this place. It was so freaking cute.
It was sick.
Yeah, that whole place was just Red Dog Ranch. So we were the very first event there. They just opened that up to doing events. And so I don't know how Hindi collaborated with them, but yeah, it was her first.
Yeah, I tried to
her
Google
first event.
just to find some information
Couldn't
online.
find
I
nothing.
couldn't find anything.
Right. Yeah, I asked her for the name of it the day before, just so that I could mention it in my speech to open it up. And I was like, this is not in here.
No, we couldn't
And the
find
owner was
anything.
adorable.
We didn't know it was what it was
Was
when we
the
saw
owner
a
there?
coaster.
You saw the owner?
The owner came in at the end of the day at like 4, a little after 4, and they told him that a bunch of people went down the slide. He's like, good, that's what it's there for. So,
Wow.
right? Yeah, it was very cool.
I did check out the staircase
He went up.
that went up to the 4th floor.
Uh-huh.
It was interesting. It was cool.
I didn't go up there, but I heard it was an office.
Yeah, it's just an office, but it was definitely a pretty sweet overlook of the entire ranch up there. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah, so, I mean, amazing Red Dog Ranch, and Hindi for that being her first wellness retreat of that size and magnitude. Girl, I mean, there of course were some learning points, and I'm sure she's got a whole list of stuff she wants to work on and do differently next time, as any organizer would.
She was on point though. Like she was.
Oh my
So
God.
she was in that. She was in that vibration seat, right, with the whole headset on,
Yeah.
and the whole probably about every 30 seconds or so, she's like, "Yeah, I need to go at 45. I need to go at 45." And the lady's like, "Just enjoy it. I'll let you know." She's like, "No, I have to be upstairs at 45."
She was not missing a beat.
Yeah, she did not have 10 minutes. to
Yeah, she did a good
sit
job.
there and enjoy.
We appreciate her interview with us afterwards.
Oh, for sure. We got
Kind of break
a
it
great
down.
interview with Indy. We also got a great interview with Danielle, which was really a lot of information that was given between those two ladies. But this whole conference thing was, like I said, was run with precision of Ferrari, number one. Number two, there were moments when I realized me and Jeffrey should probably just go somewhere and sit down.
Yeah, we picked up on that early.
Yeah, I was like, we should probably just, yeah. And the next thing I know, I heard, and sometimes you may not get the same whiteness, but I tell you what, if you keep home, I was like, oh shit, yeah. It's still Jeffrey.
We had a cool little spot upstairs
We had a
that-
great spot upstairs. And we
that's
just
out the
listened.
way, and
We listened to women that the community, the way that the community empowered each other. I thought that was the first thing that I wanted to talk about today. It was like, men, we don't have that community. Like me and Jeffrey and the Gang Bags, we have that community, and we have that between us as men. But yes, you know, if I have an issue, I go to Jeffrey and we talk. I go to Jada, we talk. I go to Staff, we talk. But what I saw yesterday is that many men don't talk outside their circle.
Mhm. Right.
You don't
no,
feel vulnerable.
it's superficial.
Right.
It's, hey, did you watch the game last night? Oh, cool. Yeah, awesome, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of about it.
Like these women address each other's major concerns, and we do that in our small circle, but we would never go out and, you know, just talk to a stranger about, you know.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? I don't even know. It was completely separate. It was like after the retreat, and then I went to a Halloween party, and then I was chatting with one of my partners on the phone, and he was saying that his therapist told him men don't seek intimacy in their friendships, they seek it with sex. And I was like, I have heard that a couple of times recently, and I find that so interesting because the intimacy of that retreat yesterday with like 70 essentially strangers, like maybe you knew 2 or 3 people who were on them, but there were people sharing very vulnerable information, very intimate details of their lives, right? And it was okay because that's what we do. We provide that safety and security with each other, and so we don't necessarily have to go to sex for intimacy. It enhances it, no doubt, absolutely, but that's not the only place that we seek it. And I think that's a big difference between like hetero men and hetero women. And I was also thinking that's one of the reasons why there are lavender marriages, or why I hang out with gay men.
No, wait. Don't just skip. Don't. Everybody don't know what a lavender marriage is. Because I damn sure don't know what it is.
So straight women marrying gay men.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Come on, man.
For what? For what?
For what?
Well, in the past, it was to protect gay men from society.
Okay,
right? Like,
understandable.
And maybe we just read it wrong, right?
Right.
But the thing is, like, you can be married to your best freaking friend in the world, the person you want to hang out with the most and travel with and share a home with, maybe even raise kids with. But you might not be into each other sexually.
But I mean, what is the purpose of marrying though? Like what else? What does that bring to the relationship outside of you just already having a great relationship with a best friend?
Why did you marry your wives? To have that.
I feel like okay. So legally protect each other.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can do domestic partnership. That's another potential thing that you could do. But that legal protection in our society is so real. You know, if you have an accident, if something goes down and you need your next of kin to be called, you don't necessarily want that to be your parent or your sister or your kid. You want that to be somebody else. And so lavender marriages give you the legal protection.
Okay, so you were going toward that whole thing.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the reasons why there are women who engage in lavender marriages, even though they might not have sex with their husbands, or in my case, hanging out with gay men, because you can have that intimacy and vulnerability that isn't necessarily something that heterosexual relationships bring. There are obviously plenty of exceptions to that rule, but you saw yesterday how yummy and warm and enfolding that community is to be able to talk about the crazy shit going on in your lives and people to hear that and embrace you for that. And women are super good at it, and we're not necessarily lesbians.
Well, I think that my upbringing, I was raised by a man, so being vulnerable was not an option.
Mm.
And I think that in my marriage personally, excuse me, to be vulnerable to my wife is something that I really embrace in my marriage, right? So I can really share my real fucking thoughts with my wife. But outside that circle with another man, vulnerability seems like weakness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So when it comes to Jeffrey and I, we on the phone, we discuss everything. But outside of our circle, I could never see myself being as vulnerable as I saw the women in that house.
Right.
So I thought that was very, 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 very impactful to see.
Yeah, and it makes you feel really good to be seen and heard and understood. And there's so much empathy because in a group of 70 people, you've got 32 women going, girl, I heard that. That was me Tuesday. You know, like you get a lot of camaraderie, and that sense of community only gets stickier and gluier and yummier because you realize I just said something that I didn't necessarily think I was ever going to share. And a bunch of people were nodding their heads like, I got you. And that's a lot of the stuff that we spoke about was stress and crazy hormones and depression and anxiety and getting belly fat and your pussy drying up and hormones and how to do mindfulness. Like the fact that we were in the middle of having this beautiful, like amazing lunch by soup. And
incredible. First of all, carrot ginger
right
soup.
Yes.
That soup. If you've not had the carrot ginger, it will change your life. I've had taco soup before. I've had that. I said, I want to try this. And it was
taco soup.
Whatever it's called.
Chicken tortilla.
All right,
same.
I've had it. But that soup I had, shout out to Soup, man. Those guys are freaking amazing. They get 2 of those.
Oh,
for
yeah.
Sure.
I love that.
Thanks for catering.
And the salads too. With the chicken on the side, I was like, thank you for giving me protein. We just talked about all the stuff about protein and they laid it out. But we were having this beautiful in essentially like a hobbit dungeon. That place was amazing.
Seriously.
And someone got up and gave us like this little talk on mindfulness, and we all together had a minute of just being super present and feeling your body and tasting your food. And I think everybody's heart rate came down like 15 points just doing that. And what a weird and vulnerable thing to do in a room full of strangers, but we were all doing it. It was.
And you guys were all sat close together, like everyone was tough.
Man, I'm telling you, they don't need us. You understand? They don't need us.
I did have a couple ladies check in on me throughout the day.
That's sweet.
Hey, hanging in there? You doing all right?
Yeah,
you surviving?
Yeah.
And I think that because of you, early on in the morning,
thank God,
kind of cracking that egg, cracking that joke,
Jesus.
allowing us to not
fully. We're the menopause men, is what we're called. Yes, indeed. Shout out to us, the menopause men.
Well, I did want to just be like, all
son.
of the staff were all women. The only man there essentially left. All of the caterers, all of the vendors were all women. And I was like, I brought the 2 penises in the house.
Before you showed up, being the only black man in that room, just sitting there and going like, what the fuck is he doing here?
This is not what I paid for. He better strip or something.
Yeah. Is he doing the massages upstairs?
That's exactly what they thought. He might do the suits upstairs. Yeah.
In which case, take my money.
If you could have come in with a little bit of a flamboyant voice, that would.
That wasn't going to happen.
I know.
Missed opportunity.
No,
Just to catch them off guard. But shout out to everybody that's in both rooms right now with our YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok.
Thank you so very much.
Shout out to the other part of the Dr. C team with Taylor over there on TikTok. What's up?
Oh, hey, girl.
It's full of great ideas. Let me tell you that.
Oh, my gosh.
She's amazing.
She and I are cracking each other up.
The room had a lot of feminism and intimidation. I saw a sticker that said, educated evil feminist. That was scary.
What scares you about that?
Well,
The word evil, I guess.
Yeah, that shit right there.
Educated is great. Feminist, fine. Evil? Does that mean pain on others? I don't know what that means.
There were so many educated women in that room.
Oh, yeah. I don't.
So many freaking educated women.
The IQ was in the tens of thousands. It was gorgeous.
So what did you take from it yesterday?
I learned some lessons about how to prepare for and give a keynote speech. I thought it went really well. I got in my head a little bit about timing because I didn't have a timer. I realized that the clock was behind me. And so next time I need somebody in the audience to be like, you've got 5, or something like that. Because I started feeling, I felt like I had a good cadence to my verbiage. And then I felt like I got to cut this off because I don't want to go over it.
I mean, to think about it though, outside of Hindi, no one else knows anything on timing. The guests, they don't know any part of what really. I mean, they have the agenda that you're supposed to talk from this time to this time, but you had them so engaged that once you started speaking and you kind of let them laugh for the first time, and then also had your realness, like a little bit of cussing here and there, like no one was thinking about time anymore. Like nobody was.
And I think it let those women understand that we can just be ourselves. And listen, it was a lot of open conversation that I experienced.
And that's kind of what I wanted was like, yes, I'm a physician. Yes, I'm the keynote speaker. Yes, I'm getting this thing started at 9 a.m. But we are going to have fun today. It's I'm going to throw a little bit of education at you, but I'm also going to be very authentic and silly and goofy, and then we're going to learn some more. And I'm going to introduce the people who are giving you the real information. So this is just kind of the superficial, hey, this is what's going to happen, mind, body, soul. These are the three people talking to you. Because I really wanted to highlight what was going to be happening throughout the day, and also like, you know, give an enormous gratitude for the fact that we were there on like this blustery, nasty Saturday day where everybody probably wanted to just be under the covers and sip their tea and coffee and pretend like that wasn't happening. And like I said, I was like, we all got up early. Most of us are showered. We are dressed nicely. And look at here, you know, like you're doing this for yourself. Like you're here because you want to do something for yourself to increase the quality of your life and those around you. So like, oh my God, shout out to you for being here. And so I think that kind of got everybody ready. Like, that's right, man. Like I spent the money and the time and effort to get my ass here. Like, let's go. So that was kind of the hype for the morning.
It seemed like the outside didn't matter once we got in there. You know what I mean? Like it just seemed like just a moving.
I mean, there was no world outside.
Yeah, it really. Yeah,
it was the whole place was just in that moment for sure.
And
there was no outside.
It was like education, laughter.
Yeah, networking, laughter.
Yep, education, laughter, and then food. More laughter than more education.
Yeah, it was fun because so this was a 2-story place, and so there was one lecture upstairs and one lecture downstairs for a couple of hours, and it was funny because you'd be in like your educational moment and kind of like taking notes and really getting into the information, and you'd hear giggling going on upstairs. Right. And then you'd hear clapping, and then we'd be clapping, and they'd be laughing, and it wasn't distracting. It was like, oh my God, this whole place just feels so good. It's full of people's brains just buzzing, and your soul's just kind of like, ooh, this is really good. These people are awesome.
I made sure I put the toilet seat down for sure.
Yeah,
I was like, if I didn't,
we discussed that.
Yeah. Me, and I was like, fuck that. I'm not gonna get in trouble by these ladies. There's a lot of them in here.
Well, you should have gone in the one bathroom where the toilet seat was automatic. Like it was, everything was down, and then as soon as you walked in the room, it came, and I was like, I
enjoyed a tinkle in the sunflower room.
So the sunflower room did not have you had to put it up in the sunflower room. Yeah.
And put it down.
You goddamn right I did.
Yes, you did.
We appreciate the opportunity, and if you would have asked me a year ago, with Dang Dad Sportscast, if we were going to be at a women's retreat, I don't know that I would ever that I would experience that ever in my life in any facet,
ever,
because I'm not allowed. And then I don't know, it was cool to see.
I looked at Jeffrey and I said, "Did you ever think you could be here right now?" He was like, "No."
Which I love that it was you guys. Like it could have been, kind of like soft, flexible, maybe even gay, like whatever. But you guys are like manly men. Like you bring the masculine, and you were up in that place with your eyebrows up, like, oh, this is really, wow, this is what you guys do?
Yes. They don't need us, fellas. They don't need us.
And I was trying to be on my thank you and please and excuse me all day long. Right. I was trying to be
on it too, bro. I was like, this is not the place to crack a funny. I have so many jokes, but they might not work in this room. I'm going to hold these to myself.
Is that the evil you were worried about?
Hey, listen, I didn't know what was going on, but I knew I better comply, is what I knew.
Ooh, that's a good word.
Seriously, comply.
Well, be on the lookout for highlights from that day. And
we had a comment. Comment.
Yeah, just that some of us enjoyed getting up earlier than others. Danielle.
Hey, shout out Danielle, man. Amazing interview with Danielle.
She doesn't even have to set her alarm. Like she just gets up at 4:30 because that's what her body's doing.
So,
but I also can't keep her up past like 9:45. So
before we move on, I want to give a shout out to your website, drcarryffs.com. Make sure you book Dr. Carey for any needs. But what was your favorite moment of the whole entire day? Like, if you had to pick one thing that stood out to you.
I think it might be the slide.
All right.
Like a bunch of really put together, dressed up, professional women.
who didn't give a fuck.
No, and I didn't expect that. They all rallied at the end.
Yeah.
Who's hitting the slide? Who's hitting the slide?
All
All the women go upstairs and go to the slide.
The champagne was flowing too now.
A little bit,
I
a
see
little
one
bit.
lady with 4 glasses. I was counting her glasses. And she started with 2 mimosas and then went to the straight champagne. It was at the rim. I said, oh, homegirl having a real good time.
Hey, orange juice has unnecessary calories in it.
There you go.
No.
I'm gonna give her plenty of room on that one.
How do you feel to be in that room full of powerful women? Like, what does that feel like to you to just like have that big community? And I guess we have a bigger audience now as well.
Yeah, I think I was anticipating feeling a little intimidated by it all because I'm very new to my business, and a lot of these women have had their businesses for 10, 12, 20
Well,
years.
being a woman?
Huh?
Being a woman?
Being intimidated?
No, being a woman. That's what you're new to? All right.
Did I say that wrong?
No, I'm just joking with you.
Okay.
Being as a woman's retreat, you're not a newbie with
I'm
being a
definitely
woman.
not a newbie. No, I've got 54 years of being a woman. I got that. And I have spoken in front of plenty of audiences. I think it was more the educated, powerful, evil, feminist, like all of those things, but a whole room from them, a whole house full of them actually, and they have a lot more experience in business and entrepreneurship than I do. And the other thing is, I didn't know my audience. Like, I almost always know my audience as med students or other residents or other physicians, or I know who it is. It's kind of a homogenous, group of people. This was a bunch of people who knew tons of stuff about things I didn't even know what was happening there. My friend Kayla was there. She was the one with the purple hair. I've been around her quite a bit.
With the jewelry. She had jewelry, right?
She wasn't selling anything.
Okay.
The other lady.
Yeah.
The jewelry lady. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Kayla had the bright purple hair, and she's a fractional CFO. And the first time I heard that, I was like, I can spell that, but I don't know what the hell that means. And so she does the numbers for companies that are startups that need a CFO, but not full time. And so that way she gets to be the CFO for several different smaller companies, right? That she helps until they get to the point where they need a whole C-suite, and then she backs off. And I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. What are you even talking about? And so it's things like that are so new and so different and so outside my wheelhouse. And I was like, who am I speaking to? But in the end, like, everybody was milling around and getting their breakfast, and I was kind of listening to the vibe and watching people, and I was like, these are just super high achieving, educated chicks. Like, I'm still gonna go have wine with these people. They're the same. So let's go.
Well, I got there before you guys. So I was there.
Poor baby, he didn't sleep. I didn't sleep either. He didn't sleep. He thought he was meeting at my house an hour early.
I sat out here out front, and Jeffrey was like, no, that's a whole nother story.
He was on it, people.
Yes. And I wanted to make sure that I came prepared to, and then what I started doing was when I got there, I started listening to some of the conversations. Like, I saw one woman, she was introducing herself, and she's like, I tried to do this. And they just started sharing their stories. And what's also really crazy is, like, men don't come together that fast and open up to each other either, right? So when I got there, I was probably there like 15 minutes before you guys ever got there, right? And people were just opening up to each other, just no hesitations. Hey, my name is so-and-so, and it's before the name tags came out.
Yeah.
And they were just sharing information. I was like, yo, men would never.
No, it would be
this.
at the most. It would exchange names, handshake.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Crack a quick little joke, and then boom, back to ourselves.
It would have took that amount of time to get to know it. It would have took the end of that time for us to really open up to each other, and we just don't do that. These women came in like right away, like, I want solutions and I want answers. This is what I do. I do this and I do that. Oh, we started connecting right away, and I was like, you motherfuckers are moving fast.
Yeah. And I think the venue helped with that too, because it kind of put everybody right in that middle area, and there's really no room to escape.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was an open venue, meaning you could go explore if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Being that it was a semi-house setting, people were a little nervous about opening random doors and stuff like that.
Doors
So
hit private, doors were
yeah,
private,
you're right,
hit
but
private.
still a big, you're not just there's hundreds of doors in that place. But I think it put everyone down in the middle area, and you're kind of forced to start doing that for sure. I mean, the venue helped a lot, but yeah, no, I agree. There's a community there for sure.
What made women start doing this shit though? Like, is this something that I know this probably goes on everywhere, but like, men, I seen this thing on Instagram. So men, they're going out to the wilderness and roughing it and picking up logs and shit and coming together and abusing themselves and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to go in the woods and do all that shit. I got a gym in my house. Like, I don't need all that. And it's weird to see that men feel like they need this level of masculinity to be community.
Yes.
Right? And those women just came and they was like, hey girl, hey. And there was no shade, no hate.
Right.
No
Could you
nothing.
imagine just a group of men were the first ones like, yeah, so my dick hasn't gotten hard. And,
In 4 years, I haven't gotten erected.
and all these men around us.
4 years.
And probably 75% of them agree. And are like, oh,
my
yeah.
butthole, and I refuse to go get checked out. So bumping my buttholes into the occasionally just in the evenings. Like, these women were laying it all out. I one point to my little Jeffrey, I was like, I'm so glad we up here, bro. Like, I'm so glad we're staying up
We're
here.
here, but we're not here.
Who's the pregnant lady?
She is a naturopath, and so they're doctors, but they're not physicians. And she basically does wellness and hormones, but she's doing it in a natural way. So botanicals and spices and essential oils and stuff like that to help with any kind of hormones, not just menopause. But that was her focus, was that thyroid.
Well, Jeffrey fell asleep. Okay, Jeffrey passed out at one point in time.
Probably cool for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Easy sleep. Like,
Okay,
During one of the speeches, like,
you needed that.
oh, significantly.
listen, there were two ladies that were upstairs and they heard over. He had a cool ass snore. Snore is cool. It's not obnoxious at all. But it's almost got a tiger vibe to it. You know what I'm saying? And these two ladies turned around and looked at him like,
Oh yes,
just
the
Yeah,
mom
just
vibes
needed-
came out.
Yeah.
this is exactly what the lady said.
We need some Z's.
But
On it.
I listened to that woman's whole thing.
Yeah.
And I listened to her address so many women's problems in that room.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, yo, there's such a big difference from men and women. And also, too, I'm not going to listen to every fucking man. I'm just not. I'm not going to listen
Well, you're gonna give it about a good 30 seconds of like the key things that you like, and if you're willing to want to listen to this man, like inspiring, not, and if you're not, it's
You are so right,
it's
bro.
checked out, and
You
if
are
it is, it's like, oh yeah, I'll run through a fucking wall for you, but or it's not like at all.
And the weird part is that she was talking about natural medicine, right? And I was like, look at the angles that they're coming from here, right? You have one doctor talking about hormones. You got another doctor to talk about gut health, who's also not just but she's a physical therapist. And but she's more than that. She has so much information, and like to see the different angles of healing. That was the education in that whole house was just like, yo, these women don't need us. They don't need us.
You know what? I was needed once yesterday, and it was by the lady who was pregnant.
Yeah, she lifted something.
She said, "Hey, you look strong. Go grab that stool and bring it upstairs." And I said, "Yes, ma'am."
Yes, we were definitely bitches. Okay, this is
yes,
the
ma'am.
Justice League of women that don't need us, man. Okay, this
And to
woman.
be clear, I could have taken that chair up there for her, or if she was
Yeah,
not, like,
everybody
36
could
pregnant,
have.
She could have done it herself.
There's a lot of people that could have. I happen to be close by.
She
Understandable.
punked you on purpose.
Obviously.
Listen, she was powerful. You could tell with that baby, and she was probably way more
Well, because
powerful without that.
after there, before that, she had already spoken upstairs, so I knew that she was one of the speakers when she asked me, and I was like, yeah, definitely. Yes, ma'am. I'll go grab it.
Yeah.
This one, where do you want it?
Well, I watched her address so many different women's problems in that room, and it was just kind of like a gauntlet. Like, who's next? Boom. This was happening with me. Yep. And this is also, and I heard the information, and then you walk down the hallway upstairs, then you got Danielle giving information. Then you got it was just a whole, a very eye-opening experience to be a man and to see that. And that, like I said, it kind of changed me. And
It's
really
kind of like this.
Listen, you want to get in shape? Join the Pilates class. Be the only man in there. All women. Put the pressure on yourself. See if you built for the moment. And don't be a brother over 6'2", you become a target. The instructor makes you do the hardest resistance, and she will not let you do any less. And don't stop for one rep. You want to know why? You look to your
We're on
right.
TikTok. We got
Chelsea's
videos
going
of it.
hard. She got 2 kids and she got abs. Both her kids are in private school. Your fragile, frail male ego is going to push you to the limits. I will die on that reformer machine before I let Bethany outwork me, because she's grunting. She does it 6 times a week, sometimes 2 a days. And in between, Chelsea's done looking at you, making sure your form's correct, trying to give you pointers. Shut up. I don't care about you or your children, Chelsea. I'm here to compete. Is it toxic masculinity? Yeah. But it's going to get me through this class. And it's going to get me in shape. I'm trying to tell you, it's the cheat code of life. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, brother, man, because he's so fucking right. I took a Taibo class in North Hollywood one time, and I was dead after 7 minutes of that shit, but boy, I had to keep up. And it was nothing but women. They were just staring at me the whole fucking time. And I was like, I cannot give up. But I
You should
did.
come to my Pilates class.
I did give up.
You did?
It's called Drenched. It's not Taibo, but it's called Drenched. And yeah, I gave up.
Rough.
I'm very flexible, by the way.
You should come to Pilates. We should film that shit.
Okay, I'll do it.
Mm-hmm. It is so good for you, so good for your back, so good for your core, and you use these springs for resistance, so it's like lifting weights, but you're going through the whole range of motion of your muscles, and so, fuck the like slimming, toning, whatever, especially as you age, you need to be lifting weights. You need a lot of resistance. Like if you can do 15 reps, then you need to add weight. You should be able to do like 6 and then maybe eke out 2 more and put it down like you just got punched in the guts. And that's what Pilates does for you. It's awesome.
I want to talk about the vendors. The way they had this thing run, guys, is they had like these little rooms that you could pop into and talk and speak with different vendors. There were vendors. The one lady downstairs, I want to talk about her first. We remember the name of that place? Something therapy?
Nature inspired or nature inspiration. No, I was looking at the card.
Nature inspired, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Frequency therapy.
Frequency therapy. So what she did was she put you on a machine, it test your vitals, and it read your whole entire body.
Off of 300 heartbeats.
Yep, off of 300 heartbeats to reach your entire body. And then you go into this, sit down on this platform that does kind of vibrations, and she puts this headset on you that you close your eyes and it shoots lasers into your eyes. And it's kind of like a detox almost. It's really crazy. It's kind of like a body detox. And then when you get done, she rechecks the vitals again, puts you back on that 300 heartbeat, and you see the change. And the change is drastic. And she told us, she's like, this is what billionaires are doing to live long.
Yeah, because it's basically, I do not know the science behind this at all. I'm not even going to try to pretend like I understand how it happens, but it's supposed to decrease your cortisol and increase your serotonin. And so in that way, you're taking your stress hormone level down when you don't need it. You're not running from a tiger just sitting in this room, but we're all so stressed out for so damn long that we can't turn it off. This machine helps to turn it off. And in turn, your serotonin, which is your calm, peaceful, present, that neurotransmitter that helps fight depression and helps fight anxiety, that goes up. And so the whole thing basically gives you a leveling out of where we should be, and we just can't find it. And so, yeah, how was your experience on that thing? Because I did it later on in the day, and I was like, I just fell asleep twice in 10 minutes sitting up. I have not fallen asleep sitting up this century. So, And it's a very uncomfortable position for me to be in, to have my legs crossed like
Did
that.
you sit on that? You sat on the pad?
Yeah.
Okay.
And as soon as she said, sit here with your legs crossed, I was like, I will be here for 94 seconds. This is going to hurt so bad. My hips don't like
She was
this.
pushing to have Marcus take his socks off, and he's like, nope, I'm not going to take my socks off. He didn't want
You have ugly feet?
No, my feet are very nice looking.
I feel like that's not true.
No, my feet are beautiful. But I didn't know how appropriate it was to be with my feet all out and shit up in there. I just felt weird.
So you did not follow the protocol, but it still worked for you.
No, I'm saying
She said you'll still get it, you just won't feel it as much.
in your feet, but my vitals were drastically different when I came out of that machine. When she rechecked me, but I felt so light, and every person that got up said the same shit. It was like, I feel lighter. I was like, damn, it's the real deal. And her packages started like 150, and they go all the way up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But she said that was just like beginner toys that she had in that place. Like at her office, she's got a lot more.
And then she put this ring on Jeffrey's leg.
It's the strongest magnet that is on the consumer market. She called it a $35,000 magnet.
Listen, her toys were expensive.
And it made my toes tingle from the inside out. It was weird.
But you just had an injury to your foot, right?
Yeah, I have feet problems. I think it's just the way I walk, and it's just creating, calluses on the sides, and it's my shoe situation first of all. But I put it on there for a minute, and I could feel like my veins kind of bubbling. What it felt like, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
But it did. She only gave me like about a 5-minute session, and it worked for about 20 minutes. Like I didn't have the pain at all, and then the pain came back viciously.
Okay.
So I could imagine with over and over and over, that it would work out.
Well, also too, I tried to go and I tried to be me and do me and try to like control the situation of how, look, I want to do this and do that. She's like, no, you're gonna do this and that.
Yeah, you need the full this or that.
Shut up. She's like, shut up. Shut up.
Yeah.
Bitch. Shut up. We're gonna do it my way. Sit your ass down over here. I was like, okay.
The only room she gave him was the socks.
Yeah.
That was the
The only room she gave was the socks. That was it. When I say she took control, she took control.
Well, she could probably read who you were and what you needed. And she was like, no, that's not how the treatment works. This is how the treatment
She was
works.
passionate about it for sure.
Yeah, and she was, and she explained like how she got there. Like, it's funny because a lot of these women that I talked to yesterday, they go get education quick, right? So like Danielle, she's just not into physical therapy. She's also educating something else, correct?
Yeah, so she has a doctorate in physical therapy, but then she also did a lot of extra hours in training and experience on functional medicine. And so that's why she has, I think she calls it coaching, but it's so much more than that. She does, she takes on clients to basically make them healthy. People who have been unhealthy for years and have are just feeling crappier and crappier. And a lot of it has to do with nutrition, their gut health. And so she'll take you one-on-one or in small groups of like 6 people on, a 3-month course where she basically does itty changes for you so that at the end of those 3 months, you can say, oh my God, I'm finally losing weight. I'm not having this joint pain. I've got more energy. I'm sleeping more regularly. And so there's objective evidence that people feel, and they subjectively feel a ton better, and they realize, oh shit, like my life has changed, and so it's going to be different going forward. And I think that's what a lot of the retreat was yesterday, was we are all just pushing and enduring and making things happen and bulldozing constantly, but we are not taking care of our body systems to sustain that and make it feel like we're thriving, like we're just getting shit done, which is awesome, but also like it's going to put you in the grave faster and you're not going to have a whole lot of fun getting there. And so it was about making small actionable changes in your life to make sure that you're still able to be the bulldozer that you need to be. You feel better about it and you're having a good time while you're doing it.
But at the same time, like in talking to Danielle, there were things that happened to her personally. It made her make the pivot to go into that direction. And then also talking to the lady downstairs with the headset, Same thing for her, how she got into that kind of medicine. She had been through a lot in her life. And she arrived at this place, and I was just like, damn, this is so different. You know, like you see why women are wired the way they are. You see why I don't understand why we're wired the way we are.
Well, I mean, it seems kind of cliche, but I think it's the whole hunter-gatherer thing. Like, you guys went off into the wilderness, usually by yourselves, to go get meat and bring it home. Like, you spent all day by yourselves hunting shit, right? And cortisol levels super high, adrenaline super high, because you might get eaten. You don't have any backup. There's nobody to support you. You hope you make it home by the end of the day. Whereas women were at home, taking care of each other's kids, taking care of the household, making all the food, doing all the laundry, like doing 90% of what needed to be done, but also doing it together. And so, like, if your kid had a snotty nose and wasn't going to be able to follow you out to the river to go get the laundry done, well, you left that snotty nose with the other snotty nose kids for those women to take care of your kid, and you take somebody else's laundry and go do it for her, right? And so I think genetically we're sort of predisposed to act as more of a community when we're women than men. And I think the things that you guys are talking about, that we can be really vulnerable and create safe spaces for each other and hold each other in an intimate setting, that just perpetuates what we were sort of genetically created to do anyways, right? Like, we've evolved into these roles, and you can certainly do a lot to, change that. And I think it's important that you do. But yeah, I think just history has sort of laid out this red carpet for both genders, all genders to act like that.
Yeah, but I don't think that men pursue knowledge the way that I saw in that room. Like, I heard several stories of women that said, hey, I was going to do this and that, and so I went to study this. I heard that conversation 4 times. So I went down and started researching this, and then I got really into it, and now I'm doing this. Men, we're like, let's just find somebody to fix that shit. I'm not going to research it. Find the guy who fixes it.
Well, the funny thing is that men, once they identify the problem, or even if you haven't, they're like, honey, could you help me with this?
There you go.
And she will find the person you're supposed to go.
100%.
Right? And so I think that's such an interesting, it just happens so often. And again, yes, there's plenty of people who don't operate that way, but it's a cliche and a stereotype for good reason, and like I said in my speech, 90% of medical decisions are made by women. 90%. Like, what are y'all doing for yourself? Like, you're really good. You actually, identify your problem when you're concerned and try and find somebody to help you with that, and like paying off your resources and things like that. I think you're rather in the minority of men who do that. They're like, oh, that doesn't look right. And then the woman next to them is like, it's because your shit's rotten off. Let's go find somebody. So, yeah, the stereotypes are there for a reason.
They don't need us. They don't need us, fellas. Show them the video.
In medicine, when I ask for something, I'm more likely to be told I'm bossy and aggressive instead of an effective leader.
We're women in medicine.
Here?
When I apply for leadership positions, I'm asked how I'm going to make it work with my family and my kids.
We're women in medicine. I'm supposed to be excited that I'm going to make $2 million less than my male counterparts.
We are women in medicine. If we take care of you in the hospital, you're less likely to have to come back.
We're women in medicine. Even though I introduce myself as student doctor, I'll still be confused as any other person in the healthcare team.
We're women in medicine. That means when we finish our training, we become less attractive in the dating pool, whereas our male colleagues become more attractive.
We're women in medicine.
So true.
Regardless of my age or rank, I will be paid less than my male colleagues with whom I'm equally qualified.
We're women in medicine, and we're here to fix the system.
All of that is so true.
Okay, let's get into it. Men give no fucks about education. We don't care. We will wife the girl from McDonald's if we're financially stable to take care of that girl, that good-looking girl from McDonald's. We'll take her in a heartbeat. Men, and I'm just saying what men think and feel, right? So yeah, I think that when you meet women who are very powerful and very educated, they don't bend very easily. They don't bend easy at all.
I'm a very flexible person. Only physically.
You know exactly what I mean.
Yes, I do.
And I think that when you go through that much education, and I've been around some super educated women and they're not married. And another thing that I noticed in that room, it was 50-50 rings in that room.
Oh, you were paying attention?
Of course.
I was not, so.
Of course. I was definitely, I'm glad that video popped up because, yeah. I think for a lot of strong women, they feel like, shit, I went through all this shit in school. I'm super educated. I'm not going to fucking bend and do what's traditional to do. I'm not doing it. And guess what? If you don't fit into my fucking role, listen, I've studied, I've earned all this shit. If you don't fall into my role, then it just don't fucking work.
So here's the flip side of that. I'm not saying you're wrong because.
Are you saying I'm right?
No.
See, there it is right there. There it is.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but the flip side of that, I think there's so many facets to that. You keep saying today, man, they don't need us. We don't. We don't. But you know what the wonderful thing is? If we choose you, we want you. And so I think that men need to make a distinction between desiring to be needed and desiring to be wanted. And I also think that genetically, most men would rather be needed because it's acts of service, it's doing, it's fixing, it's that is how you prove that you're important in the relationship, right? Whereas if you come date women who can do it all, you're not needed, but you're wanted. And that desire should really fuel your fires. But I think there are plenty of men who that is not what fuels their fires. They don't feel good about that because they realize they're not needed. And being wanted isn't enough, isn't sticky enough.
But I think that a lot of women in education who are highly educated feel like they don't need to bend to a man's needs or wants or to make him even feel to be wanted. I don't have to stroke your ego. I went through all this goddamn school and I'm this title here. I don't have to do all that shit. And you see a lot of these women later on, and this is just what I've seen, okay, allegedly, right? I've seen a lot of these ladies later on in life say, I wish that I had done things differently when it came to my relationships. You know, I felt like I was a very high educated woman, a high functioning woman, and I looked at men as trying to control me. And I felt like I went through too much stuff on my own, and I've become successful on my own, and then to step into a relationship where I feel controlled, I just wasn't willing to give that up at that time. But later on, she's like, the woman said, I'm 62 years old, and I wish I had somebody to share my life with right now. She's like, I just don't. She said, not just that, I find myself to be in a space where I don't feel like I can be vulnerable with anyone at this age. Because now when I meet a man my age that's single and not a widow, and not been widowed, right? She's like, I don't know if I can trust him because what kind of person doesn't have someone? What kind of man doesn't have someone yet? And I was like, God damn.
Nobody's going to win in that scenario.
And I was like, lady, just enjoy your fucking life at some point. Like, at some point, learn to let go.
I mean, I can kind of see where she's coming from, but at some point, like, you
play the fence a lot, right? You play the fence a lot, right? You stay 50-50 and you don't like to lose. I kind of see where she's coming from, but
because it sounds like she didn't need anyone, and now she's feeling lonely, and she's looking at the last third of her life or whatever, and she'd like to have somebody with her, and yet she's still throwing shade. And there's reasons to throw shade. People, like, if you are 62 and you ain't never been married and you're not, like, what the hell happened?
It's kind of right though, right? Like,
it's kind of right, but you have to give people a chance too. I mean, you have to give people a chance, and you're gonna get burned, and you're gonna get hurt, and you're gonna come out of it with bruises and black eyes and like all sorts of. But if you don't give people a chance, then you're never gonna know if there is that lid for your pot.
Yeah, but I think, you know, even to the conversation that she was having, like, she got so cocooned into her own success. And you know, she's like, I can pay for all the trips that I need to go on to do this. And she said, occasionally I'll meet a man somewhere and she's like, but after a couple of days of that shit, I'm ready to get rid of him, and it's just not the right guy. She's like, I just do what I do. And, you know, she's like, I wish that I had that person to be stable with at this point, but I have been so successful on my own that I never thought that I would be in this place now. Do you guys find comfort in your education? Do you find that insecurity?
I would say there's definitely a comfort in being educated.
I mean, being so there's a difference from like you have a police officer, right? That job is a job that anybody can get for as long as you're not a criminal and you don't have a fucked up background, you can get that job, right? You don't have to have a whole lot of education to get that job. But when you guys have jumped through so many hurdles, do you find it to be like I'm successful?
Yeah, there is that. I do have to say that it also gives you this weird thing where the more you know, the more you're not sure you know enough. And so it's a double-edged sword where, like in emergency medicine, like, you know, by the time I had been there for 10 years, there's not a whole lot you can do to surprise me. Please bring in something that surprises me. Like those moments where I was like, oh my God, I just learned something new, or I had no idea, you know, those eye-popping moments were great, but they were getting less and less frequent. And then as I'm shifting into this new business and learning about hormones and learning about gender affirming care and stuff like that, we don't have to deal with that in the emergency department. We have no idea. That gives me pause, like, oh dang, I really don't know this at all until I'm knowing it, right? But as we all say, you don't know it till you know it. You don't even know what you don't know until you know it. And so I think the more you educate yourself, the more you start questioning yourself, like, do I actually really know this? Ignorance is bliss. If you don't know and you don't care to know and you're not going to know, then I guess you're just happy. You can be confident in that little nugget of, you know, information that you have, and you're not curious. You're not goal-oriented. You're not striving to know more. That seems like a really comfortable place to be, but I don't want it.
Are women looked down on in medicine?
Are women looked down on?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I would say there's a few, you know, genres where being a woman is definitely a positive, but on the whole, no. We make less money. We are less respected. We are less identified. You know, people are not going to come up to somebody who looks like Jeffrey and ask him for a blanket and a glass of water because they're going to assume that he's the doctor, right? They are going to, yes, privileged white male. They're definitely going to ask me for the blanket and the glass of water. And then they're also going to have a full history and physical by me. I'm going to go in and tell them what the story is, what the plan is, all the things. And the nurse will go in to discharge them. And they'll be like, we never saw the physician.
Well, you do get paid the same, right? If some young lady said, I'm going to make less money. You get paid the same shit. If the job description says $200,000, you get paid $200,000, right?
Well, they probably offered $240,000 to the man. That's true.
I don't know that you're really going on Indeed and like applying to be a doctor at hospitals and shit like that. You're probably word of mouth. There's a lot of talking that
I bet they got fucking LinkedIn and shit.
I mean,
they do to link up, but that doesn't mean that's what's in your contract. That doesn't mean when you talk to the medical director or the president of the group that that's what's going to be offered.
So you can tell me you go to work, right? And you all working together and you sitting with Roger, and Roger's like, yeah, I knocked down 260 last year. You're like, what the fuck? Right. We do the same shit, Raj.
Yeah, the other thing is, like, if you are gonna procreate, You have to take time off for doing all that. Your productivity goes down at the time when you are probably supposed to be making the most amount of money in your career. And you have to take maternity leave, all that stuff. And then when the kids get sick, who stays home with them? Probably the female physician, because she knows what the fuck she's doing, right? And then if the parents get sick, whether they're the parents of the husband, the wife, the other husband, whatever's going on, who's going to take care of it? The female physician. So you're going to have to take time off work. So the time at work lost is huge compared to your male counterparts. Huge.
So did they factor that into the salary?
No, not at all.
So that's wild. That's wild.
That's real.
I mean, maybe that is the factor. Is that's why they would be getting paid less.
Yeah.
Because of that.
But subconsciously, maybe not listed, right? But factors, liability, whatever they want to call it.
Life.
Life is well, I get you, right? I understand. But in the terms of business, and it's not life.
Man.
Yeah. So over the life of over the span of your career, especially as a female who has decided to have kids or raise kids, even if they're not yours, even if you're like the stepmom or whatever, you're still the one staying home. And so you end up losing years of income.
You can respect it.
Occasionally. Not all the time. And the dating thing, that cracked me up. Because I do not tell people that I'm a physician until there's no way to avoid saying it.
Why? What do you say then?
I work from home doing telemedicine. And they're like, oh, you're a nurse? Well, sure. That's usually my answer is sure.
Well, I would.
That gets the relationship off to a fucked up start right away, you know? Just
a little bit.
Then how come you don't just pridefully say I'm a fucking doctor?
Because it gets weird.
Take it or leave it.
Do men prey on you because you're a fucking doctor? Think they get something out of you?
I think there's some of that, and that might be some of my reluctance to just say that.
It gets weird, like they're intimidated then? Or
they're intimidated, or they're overly exuberant. Like, woo, I want you to look at that thing on my butthole that itches in the evening. Like, you know?
They're looking at you as free healthcare?
I mean, even when I was a trainer, did you get that all the time? Probably on a personal trainer. Oh, I need you to look at my bicep or whatever, right?
Sure.
And so, yeah, as an athletic trainer in the bar, we're having a beer. They're like, oh my God, can you look at my ankle? I have this weird thing. Well, it gets even worse.
You know I get paid to do this shit, right?
Right.
I say that to people all the time.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then it's funny because then, like, maybe I'm dating someone and maybe we have a good relationship and maybe things are going great. And then they sort of divulge to me later, like, well, I had an MRI last week because I'm kind of worried about this one injury, but I didn't tell you about it because I didn't want you to think like I was trying to use you.
That's weird.
Right? And so I don't know where the sweet spot is.
No wonder you're polyamorous. No wonder.
Why is it wah?
Well, because these
saying it's a lot to deal with.
Yes.
It is a lot to deal with.
It's a fucking burden. What?
It is. So here's a weird thing.
On top of not even being respected as a doctor.
Exactly. What the fuck?
There's not a lot of
man, on behalf of men all around, man, I just want to say we sorry, dog.
Yeah, sorry.
We sorry, man.
You could give us a wonk wonk, yeah.
Yeah, we sorry. We sorry, y'all. Yeah. We can fucking
I mean, honestly, it's fuck Donald Trump. I don't know how else to say it. I'm sorry.
I mean, not all day long. I don't know how that transitioned into this conversation. But.
Because I think he's a terrible example for men.
Oh, God. Yes. I took this great picture at a medical conference, like everyone, all dressed up and there's all this medical stuff all over the place. And for some reason, there was a life-size stand-up of cardboard of him. And I totally went over to it and got my own pussy in front of him.
You see what happened? The whole camera moved when you just said that.
I think it was my hands.
The whole camera moved.
Big hands.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I mean, yes, the disrespect, the disregard, the florid Handmaid's Tale bullshit that's unfolding right now is just an astonishment, honestly. But it comes after, like, we never made it to being equal in the first place. Like, there's so little equity for women, for people of color in the first place, and now we just slide back by decades, like every month. It's a shame. It's a shame for everybody, because like this woman that you're talking about who would really like to have a relationship going forward, she by her own circumstances and her own personality has put herself at jeopardy of being really lonely for the rest of her life. But like, kind of society has made it that way for her, you know. I don't have a good answer for her.
How common is that in your field?
What?
To be that woman, it's like I can't.
Oh,
because of this, I can't find a normal relationship that is traditional.
I think plenty, and some of it goes back to the we don't need y'all, right? Like women who are in powerful positions, who have a lucrative life, are not forced financially into seeking relationships, which I think a lot of men need and require. And so I think that can be a big downside to it. And then women are just like, fuck it, I'll just do my thing and hang out with my girlfriends and have my family and friends, and that will be my social life. And that's enough, because I don't want to deal with the rest of the bullshit. And you can hardly blame them. Like, I'm supposed to have a date tonight. He ghosted me today. And he's another physician.
Well, fuck him.
Oh, you know what?
Fuck him.
Saves me an hour and a half of my life, not dealing with the stale ham sandwich.
You lost out, punk.
So, whatever. But it's shit like that where it's like, wait a minute, we actually have a similar profession and you still can't get your shit together? So I can see why this woman she doesn't even want to bother.
Damn.
But at the same time, like, what's the quality of her life? Maybe it's fantastic, but it sounds like she's got some regrets.
She was very regretful. She
Yeah.
was very regretful. You know, she said, I didn't have kids, so my sisters and my brother's kids are my
also,
kids.
if you think of the profession and how busy you might be given, especially maybe ER doc, like that's your long shifts, a lot of no time off, like you're hustling, right? Most doctors are probably working their ass off unless they're on the end of their time, and they're comfortable in the office. So like she's not that type of person is not opening themselves up to very many options in terms of choosing. So because of how busy they are, and I think oftentimes people limit themselves on shit's not working out in their city, which could be a couple million, whatever, when the whole world is trillions, like I think people close in on what their surrounding things is and just chalk it up as it ain't gonna work. But that's just so limiting, and let alone working these long hours. Like, how do you even find a person that would fit what you're looking for? That could still encourage you in your career. And I mean, yeah, it's tough.
There's a lot of promiscuous relationships in the medical field. What, in the hospitals?
I've heard that's like always one of the highest. Just health fields in general. It's usually one of the higher promiscuous place.
I was like, I couldn't like that word. Promiscuity.
What is it? I kind of think it is in a hospital. And I think it comes back to...
I mean, Grey's Anatomy.
I know.
Pretty.
I was trying to be like, it's not like TV. It's not like TV.
Of course not.
But it's kind of like TV.
But there's some truth to some stereotypes. They got to come from somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I think it actually comes back to the intimacy factor and the vulnerability factor. Like, you're dealing with...
You guys just saw somebody die.
Yeah.
And saw the family together. Like, wow, yeah, you're connected in a whole different way than just working in an Amazon warehouse.
Yeah, you can't just walk around the streets talking about what you did, right? Because human regular, normal human
Yeah, you're right.
society should not know what the hell is going on.
I've listened to some of your stories you told with a straight face, and I don't have a straight face. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Right.
Yeah, it's different.
And so then you have, there's a very tiny subset of the population who can even listen to those conversations and relate to them and come back with their own, right?
And understand it, and
Yes.
just
Commiserate.
know that there's more to come, and all that.
Yeah. And so I think that intimacy and that shared horror show, honestly, brings people together. And so, like, yeah, leaving there and trying to talk to people in regular mainstream society about what you do and what you've been through and what you're going to go through, really limiting. So it's not Grey's Anatomy because that's ridiculous. Great show, but that's not how it goes down. But is there a slice of that? Yeah, I think kind of sort of. Yeah.
My God. Well, like I said, shout out to Women's Conference for letting us get that with them. Dr. C was amazing. This was amazing. This was a lot of information today.
You got a packed weekend.
You're damn right. I just walked into that, final thoughts. Like, I just walked into that room and just began to see the production of what it was and how it all came together. And I mean, like, it was like fucking Legos. Like, these women were just, the caterers came out for breakfast. That shit was up. Listen, I saw them come in. There was nothing up. Nothing. I looked over here, was listening over here. I looked over and there's a full, everything set up. And I'm like, holy shit.
Also, wasn't there a pivot because some of it was supposed to be outside?
Yes.
Yes.
So, like, that pivot wasn't even noticed.
At all. And next thing you know, I'm sitting there doing the therapy thing, and next thing, swoops together. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? There genies around this motherfucker setting this shit up. Like, this was very well run. I recommend that any lady, and if they let a man get in there, they will let a man. Men, get in there. Listen. I heard a lot of the same things about husbands. A lot of women are sharing the same things and same issues in relationships. Yeah, I learned a lot.
Well, and things like chronic stress and hormone changes, they affect all of us, like, especially chronic stress. Our society is, this rat race that we're on is killing us quickly. And so that knows no gender whatsoever. And so a lot of the information, the education, the suggestions, the resources for that, that's for everybody. You sitting on the vibrating bench with your socks on?
Frequency therapy. It was called freak. I was not sitting on.
He sat on a vibrator.
Vibrating bench. It was fantastic. Not in any kind of weird tricky way. You made that weird, not me. But that's for everybody.
The whole artist knows vibrators. The artist knows use the vibrator lady. You know what I mean?
I don't need that.
Okay.
Dr. Carey, the hormone hero.
Yes, indeed. For fuck's sakes.
That's what we're going with.
Another Sunday podcast with Dr. Carey. For fuck's sakes, man. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Salute.